Today's show is going to be about the possibility of Jeff Lebby, the offensive coordinator at the Oklahoma Sooners, not being with the Oklahoma Sooners after this season. It's not something that I'm really in agreement with right now. Now, later on in the season, I may come to the thinking of some people that Jeff Lebby may indeed need to be dismissed. But is it possible that maybe Jeff Lebby's not happy here after the Art Briles situation? You know, Art Briles is his father-in-law, and he was really giving a hard time about allowing Art Briles to come on the field, especially with the kind of stuff that Art Briles was connected to at Baylor. Yes, I know he was cleared, but I also know that O.J. Simpson was cleared too. You just can't tell me. I can't believe that Art Briles didn't know about some of the rapes and stuff that were going on at Baylor. But I feel it only fair, since people are bringing it up, that we take a look at possible candidates to replace Jeff Lebby if that does indeed happen. Also, at the end of the show, if you stay around to the end, I'm going to show you some interesting comments from the USC Skittle Shooters as they fired their defensive coordinator, Alex Grinch, and now they seem to be coming back after disappearing for a couple of weeks. Suddenly, surprise, surprise, they're back, and they're filling their oats. Let's talk about it.
The home of the common Joe and the common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads.
Well, here we go again. It's another episode of the Outlaw of College Football. And here they come. Right on in once again. It's the Outlaw Posse. Now, in effect. And today we have a few new posse members. They're mounted up, they're saddled up, they're ready to go, they're ready to get their badge and get deputized. And they are as follows: Jack Acker and Becca Has Thoughts. They are now deputized. They're in the Outlaw Posse. They'll get their random four horseman shout out as well as possibly be the comment of the day. And if you want to get your badge and get deputized like Becca and like Jack Acker, all you got to do is hit that join button next to the subscribe button. It's now $2.99 a month. That's just 75 cents a week. And you'll get your badge and you'll be deputized and you'll be in the Outlaw Posse. Now, the four horsemen shout outs of the day go to Sean James, Fred Bagley, Keelback First, and Joseph McKelvey are saddled up and ready to go, and they're going to help me with today's college football invasion. Seems like there's been a lot of chatter going on, as I said in the lead up, about Jeff Lebby possibly being dismissed at Oklahoma. The Oklahoma people are not happy with Jeff Lebby. I've argued in favor of Jeff quite a few times. Now, I have come to the realization that some points that are being made are pretty good points. My boys Sheldon Lamy and Matt Bingham have pointed out, yes, the defense has been giving up a lot of points here lately. Yes, they're banged up, but Stutzman was in some of those games where they give up 30-plus points is what I pointed out. But they made a good point in that the offense is putting the defense in bad situations with turnovers at inopportune times, as well as not really having long, drawn-out drives in order to allow the defense to rest some. So I can see both sides of the coin here. I just think maybe it's a little bit too early to be heaping all the blame on Jeff Lebby and asking for his resignation. Now, Jeff Lebby, as I said in the lead-up, he may be unhappy here because of the whole situation with Art Briles. Now, that's just me thinking out loud. But if Jeff Lebby were to leave, I do have a few candidates here that I want to run by y'all, see what y'all think as possible candidates to replace Jeff Lebby if he is, in fact, not with Oklahoma next year. The first candidate I saw, and some of these may not be possible if Oklahoma is not willing to pony up the money in order to get them because they're with big-time programs. Alex Atkins at Florida State was one of the candidates that I'd been hearing about. Florida State is notorious for not paying their assistants very well. And a lot of people say, well, Florida State's a top 5 program. Why would we leave there? Well, just as I said, they are really notorious. That's why they lost Jimbo Fisher to Texas A&M, because they're notorious for not paying their assistants. And if that's the case, Oklahoma may, in fact, be able to steal Alex Atkins from Florida State. The next candidate that I saw was Charlie Weiss Jr. at Ole Miss. And everybody's like, well, that's really Lane Kiffin's offense. whoever the offensive coordinator there is a puppet. That's what they were saying about Jeff Lebby, the ones that are not fans of Jeff Lebby. But Charlie Weiss Jr. has been pretty good in most places that he's been. His father, Charlie Weiss Sr., as you know, was an offensive guru. He wasn't a very good head coach, but he was an offensive guru. And Charlie Weiss Jr. is in the same mold, in my opinion. These next two guys are probably off your radar. You've probably never heard of them, but this guy I mentioned before, even for my team, Alabama, last year, Warren Ruggiero of Wake Forest has done a wonderful job at Wake Forest. Anybody that can coach up Wake Forest's players, as you know, Wake Forest is probably the smallest budgeted Division I program as far as being in the Power 5 conferences. They have one of the smallest budgets that allows them to do certain things. So getting Warren Ruggiero from Wake Forest, and I may be mispronouncing his last name, I think would be a good little coup for Oklahoma if they were to replace Jeff Lebby. The next guy that's on the radar for me is Buster Faulkner at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, as you know, wasn't very good last year, but this year it's his first year so far. Georgia Tech's looked rather good. They've actually upset two ranked teams. Both of them were 17th at the time, that being North Carolina and Miami of Florida. So the guys made a big difference in just 1 year at Georgia Tech, so it might be somebody you might want to look at as well. The next one was Mac Leftwich of Texas State. Now, Texas State, not a big name program. You may not know him. You may not know anything about Texas State, but if you've been following college football this year, you know Texas State has been pretty good. I think they've only lost 1 or 2 games, and they beat Baylor in Waco. Now, of course, I know Baylor's not that great this year, but for a program like Texas State to beat Baylor anytime is a good sign. So I think, maybe y'all should take a look at Mac Leftwich. Next guy up, Kirk, and I may butcher this name too. Kirk Ciarrocca. Kirk Ciarrocca is the offensive coordinator for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. And, Rutgers, a lot of people snicker when they see the name Rutgers, but Greg Schiano won at Rutgers in his first stint there, and now he's winning there again. I think Rutgers is 6-3 or 7-3. I think they're 6-3 now. They hung in there with the big boys, Ohio State, give them a tussle. So I think that Kirk would be a guy that y'all really, really, really need to look at as far as coming to Oklahoma. Now, he may not have the ties that you want because he's in the far northeast of the United States, but as far as offense goes, if you can coach up Rutgers, just like with Ruggiero at Wake Forest, he's somebody that could probably do a damn good job at Oklahoma. Next guy's a little bit off the radar too, Zach Lejeune. Once again, I may be butchering these last names, of South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits. I got them on my wall up here, by the way. And as you know, North Dakota State used to dominate FCS. Now South Dakota State has come along. Now the South Dakota State Jackrabbits are dominating. They've sort of taken the mantle from North Dakota State, who I think won 7 national championships when Chris Kleiman was there. And they've run with it, and this guy's been a part of it from what I understand. So, he may be about ready to move up to the big time. He might be somebody you might want to take a look at, that being Zach Lejeune of South Dakota State. Now, the last two are guys that are not offensive coordinators yet, but are probably looking to make that jump. And if you're going to get someone that's not an offensive coordinator yet, maybe you should just stay with someone that's on your staff already. That being DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray is a great running back coach. He was a great running back at Oklahoma, and his recruiting prowess is unmatched just about. He's pretty damn good at recruiting. But does that translate to coaching? I don't know. Y'all would know more about DeMarco Murray than I would. But if you're going to hire within or promote within, DeMarco Murray would be the obvious choice to go with. Last one I'm going to mention is a guy that actually coaches on my team, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Holman Wiggins has been with the University of Alabama, I think, 4 or 5 years. He is the wide receivers coach for Alabama. He has taken the Alabama wide receiver corps and done wonders. Even had a Heisman Trophy winner, which is unheard of at the wide receiver position with Devontae Smith. Also had a Blitnikoff Award winner. Obviously, probably Devontae Smith again. May have had a couple of them. I can't remember. I think it's one or two Blitnikoff Award winners. So if you can come in and do that with Alabama's wide receiving corps, maybe you deserve a shot and a look at being an offensive coordinator with the Oklahoma Sooners. Now, we're going to move on to something that I think is pretty funny. And I know y'all enjoy it and love it when I prod and kick the skittle shitters of USC. So let's take a look at some comments that these USC skittle shitters have been making here the last few days. And here they are. Here they are, coming back. They've been gone for a couple of weeks. I don't know why, man. Did USC lose a couple of games or something? Oh, they lost 3 games, and now they're coming back because they fired Alex Grinch. Now they're coming out of the woodworks once again, as you can see here. At Trojan Biz says, is it true Coach Blowing and Going has interest in moving to beautiful Southern California and replacing Grinch? Oh, and the Sooners never lose. They get robbed. Come on, guys. Actually, he says, come in, guys. And I was basically responding with USC got robbed by Linky Boy. He took y'all's asses for $100 million in 17-bathroom house. He comes back with the stuff they always come back with because it's coached into them that this is the response because we know that they don't have any originality. But here's what Trojan Biz said. Riley must have hurt you bad to own so much space in your empty head, rent-free. Well, that's a surprise. I mean, I use that phrase all the time. I bet you sleep with a Riley pillow. Get a girlfriend, dude, or seek help from a therapist. Stop your obsession with Riley. He doesn't know you exist. Deal with it. And I just respond with, looky here, Puddin'. You're running out of excuses and comebacks. The rent-free part is me living in your skittle-shitting head. I own you in every little SEC, USC, skittle-shitter that comes in here. I could care less if Linky Boy ever knows me. I know this, though. I can thank Linky Boy for giving my Alabama Crimson Tide one of our easiest playoff wins of all time. Sad. He got Oklahoma in the playoffs twice. How many times has he got USC in the playoffs? Oh, there's more. Check this out. This is Qua Fizz, the poster formerly known as, you guessed it, LeVar. LeVar has changed his name. He was so embarrassed of USC and their antics that he changed his damn screen name. Here's what LeVar, a.k.a. Qua Fizz, says. Oh, you? Sorry, but what you got to say now, big mouth? USC gotten rid of Grinch, and once we hire an elite defensive coordinator to go along with Lincoln Riley's offense, will be impossible to beat. Lincoln Riley's the problem here, son. I don't think it's Alex Grinch. I mean, he was having these issues before Alex Grinch. But nevertheless, DJ Baby comes in and says Lincoln Riley can't hire good DC. Your struggles will continue. I agree with DJ. Like DJ said, what do you mean, what do I have to say? LeVar, we've been telling you forever that Linky Boy should fire Grinch, and y'all waited until you got 3 losses and your asses are out of the playoffs by a freaking mile now. We try to tell you, man. Oh, it gets better. Moving on down, this is the last one. Basically, he starts wetting his diaper quite profusely here. So this may be hard for you to look at. Outlaw, you are too old to be picking on a 20-year-old boy. And DJ Baby comes in and says, you're too young to be mouthing off at the Outlaw on the flip side, which is true. He should call me sir. And then I come back with, by the way, he deleted one of his comments here. He was talking about how me and DJ Baby were jokes. So my response to that was, seems like you are the joke, LeVar. You admitted we were right, and I do have a screenshot of that. I didn't share that in here tonight, but I will. I shared it in a previous podcast. I have a screenshot, and if you're old enough to vote and serving a war, then you are not a kid, you puddin'. Wham, wham, wham. Someone call a ambulance. I'm picking on a 20-year-old man. Damn, y'all been had. I can't believe it, man. I just can't believe the audacity of the Skittle Shitters. Can you? And they stay gone like 2 or 3 weeks while they're losing, and all of a sudden they get rid of Alex Grinch, and they think that the world is theirs again. The head coach is the CEO, jackass. That means he's in charge of offense and defense and everything, even being the punting coordinator. You know, every little bit, every little thing, every little detail belongs to Lincoln Riley. He's the CEO. And it took him this long to make that change. What does that say about Lincoln Riley? It says he doesn't know jack shit about defense. What makes you think he's going to be able to go out and hire somebody else that's going to be able to do even better? Hell, he could bring in Bill Cowher from the Pittsburgh Steelers heyday in the back in the day, or Mike Tomlin from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And his defense is going to suck because he doesn't coach his team and he doesn't organize his organization to be conducive to having a good defense. He puts his defense in bad positions all the time. So until he can learn how to take defense seriously, it doesn't matter who he hires, y'all going to continue to suck. Your problem is not Alex Grinch. It's Lincoln Riley. And that's all I got to say about that. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this video. That's the big 4. And they're all free. Also, as I said earlier, if you want to join the Outlaw Posse, get your badge, get deputized, get your random 4 horseman shout out, as well as possibly be the comment of the day. It's a little join button next to the subscribe button. Also, we have a little heart down here, a little heart option. Got a little $sign in it as well. You can hit that, make a one-time donation to the program. And I'm out of here. KMCA to all the other teams, classes now officially dismissed.